Dear brothers, what's going on, fellas? Today is going to be a little bit of we'll call it a wake up call, possibly. And I don't know why this topic tends to get me fired up and upset at certain things, but we just had this weekend in the Bahamas and we saw some friends and old friends, and I got to journaling a little bit about my friendships at the beginning of this week and just the importance of them. And it kind of reminded me of something that I talked about on an earlier podcast. And it's about the fact that men just don't have friendships like they used to. There's very few men that actually have a best friend. And the numbers are just stark and bothersome to me. And so I was thinking to myself, as men, we need good male friends. We need men in our lives that are strong and bolstering us and expecting more of us. And as I got to thinking about that, I kind of made a list of some questions you should ask yourself when it comes to the male friends in your life. And they're in no particular order, but as I wrote them down, I was like, damn, like these are what people need to hear. And these are questions I have to ask myself about my own friends. And I am so beyond blessed to have some of the best dudes in the world that I get to call brother. And I want to make sure that all of you are getting that in your lives. If you do not have quality friends, which I'm going to explain what quality looks like in a second, but if you look at your friend group and you're like, I've got some acquaintances, a lot of them are schmucks. They don't really work hard. They don't take care of themselves. They're really not great with their wife or great with their kids. They're not mega reliable. I don't expect them to come help me on a whim if I need. Like you look at them and you're like, they're cool, but like they're not ride or die homies. They're not people that I would give my life for. They're individuals. They're in my life, but they're not big time friends. And I'm not telling all of you that you need to have 100 of these people. But you need to have a couple of them, at least one close friend. And to that end, I'm going to help you kind of make some guidelines onto what that looks like today. So first thing is this that I wrote down. It's, do you have a friend who tells you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear? Someone who's going to slap you upside the head and be like, hey, you are screwing up. This is not what you should be doing. This is below you. This is not a sign of a heroic man, as I've talked about on here before. But do you have a friend who's willing to tell you that, be honest, be abrasive, and have absolutely no care if they offend you or not? Do you have one of those kind of friends? Number one. Number two, do you have a friend that encourages you? I don't mean encourage like, hey man, like good luck, hope you do well, but someone who truly hopes in their heart of hearts that you succeed to the fullest of your abilities. Simple example, my absolute homie that I helped move a few weeks ago. I can remember a couple of years ago, probably a year ago now actually, we were talking about, I had gone off and started, really being fully independent with my business for a couple of years at that point. And, he asked me, how I did financially the prior year. And I told him. And the first words out of his mouth weren't, oh, well, I wish I had that. Or, oh, maybe you got lucky. They were, dude, that's so fucking cool. I am so stoked for you. Bro, that is awesome. I'm so proud of you. That is the kind of friend that you want. Someone who encourages you to literally be the absolute best version that you can be. They don't care if you have more money than them or more status than them. That doesn't mean anything. What they care about is that you are achieving highly. And I'm telling you, boys, find friends who want you to achieve highly. Not necessarily, again, in money or status, but they just want you to be the utmost that you can be. The best of the best at whatever you're doing. And it doesn't matter if that's, again, money or fame or status or whatever. They just want the best for you. They're like, hey, you want to have a couple more kids? Bro, I'm here. Let's figure it out. Let's make it happen. It doesn't matter what it is. But make sure that your friend, your closest friend, is someone who encourages you to the nth degree, wanting nothing but the best for you. That's number 2. Number 3, which goes along with 2. Not just do they encourage you, but do they have expectations for you? And again, that goes along with the theme of the first point, which is, do they slap you upside the head? When they're going to slap you upside the head, when they're like, hey, you're screwing up, that's because they have an expectation that you will be something higher than you are right now. And your friends should have expectations of you. Even as friends, I'm not saying that it's like a tit for tat or an eye for an eye kind of thing with friendship. You give to somebody because you love them. And it's one of my fun rules. With real friends, you never care who picks up the bill. Never. It's not a, oh, well, I picked up this one, you pick up the next one, or, oh, we need to split all of this. No. You know you've made it when you have a friend where you go, don't worry about it, I got this one. And maybe it'll come back around, maybe it won't. You don't care. You are so close to that person, and you know that they love you so much, and you have a respect for one another, that you'll figure out, the bills figure themselves out. In the end, it'll all play itself out. I'm doing something for you because I love you and you're my friend, you're my homie, you're my person. That's when you know that you've got someone close. But again, you should have expectations for one another. Not expectations that you're going to pay for stuff, but expectations of, hey man, you talked about getting into your Bible more. Hey man, you talked about getting to the gym more. Hey man, we were talking about you cutting a few pounds. Are you doing those things? I expect you to do those things. I hold you to that standard. You need to have expectations as a husband. Are you living up to those expectations for your spouse? They have to have expectations for you and you for them. That's how you know you've got someone that's a friggin' close friend, man. 4th point or thing to look at. Do you have a friend who you can compete with? All of you are going to take that as, oh, well, compete like what? Like one has more money than the other, or one has a bigger house than the other? No. What I mean by that is that we are all driven to compete, especially as men. We want to compete. We want to win. We want to be successful. And I think it's vital to have friends that you're competing with in the sense of being good men. Not that at any point you look at one another and go, oh, well, you're far better than I am. God judges us all. But what I mean is that in doing what you're supposed to be doing, am I getting to the gym? Am I working out hard? Am I doing the right things with my wife and with my kids? And knowing that, like, hey, they're doing that. My buddy's being a good man. He's being a brilliant man, a great man. I've got to compete to be that way. Not because I need to be approved of by other people. That's all, again, that's in God's hands. But I want to have someone to compete against. Like, oh, you know what? He got to the gym 5 times last week. That son of a bitch, I'm getting to the gym 5 times this week. It's a healthy competition. It breeds excellence in men, right? I think of it all the time when I watch like these MMA fights. We just had UFC 300 this past weekend, and you watch these guys battle. They're competing and killing each other. And then they'll finish, and a lot of times when they finish, there is this big sense of loyalty, a lot of respect. They hug each other. They love on each other like, hey, battle well done, brother. And that competition rises both of them, right? That's the kind of competition I want you thinking about with your brothers. If you don't have that with somebody, find it. Find someone that you can have a healthy competition with that you know, not just someone on the internet. That's easy. Find someone that you know. Compete at something. There's always going to be a winner and a loser in terms of a competition. That's how winning and losing works. But the point is that you're competing against somebody. And when you do that, both of you get better. It's as easy as that. My last point, my 5th point. And this is my favorite one that I wrote down. Again, I've talked about this in other podcasts. Do you have a friend that you can call at 2 o'clock in the morning, and before they have picked up the phone, they have their tactical gear on, they're jumping out of bed, they're in the car, and they're going, hey, whose body are we burying? Do you have one of those kind of friends? Not a 6 o'clock friend that you can call and, as long as it's before 8 o'clock, they'll come over and help you. Someone you can call in the middle of the night, knowing that no matter what, they're going to get up, get in the car, and they'll be to you in 2 seconds to take care of whatever the situation is. Those are the better friends that you guys all should be hoping to have and gain. And I pray that all of you have someone like that in your life. And if you do, cherish that, bolster it, encourage it, make it more whole. If you can have 2 of those kind of people, have 2 of those kind of people. There's no such thing as having too many good male friends. You should have them. You're not going to have a lot. There's just not that many great men around, and there's just only so much time that you have to devote to somebody. But make sure you have somebody. Again, number 1, do you have someone who's going to tell you what you need to know? Tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. Number 2, do you have someone that encourages you to be higher, to be a better man, to succeed at the highest level, who wants you to succeed so much that they do it at their own expense even? They just want you to be the best, and they want it for your own good. Number 3, does your friend have expectations of you? Do they expect you to get to a certain realm? Do they expect that you're going to pursue excellence in whatever the endeavor is? Did they have that expectation of you? Number 4, do they compete with you? Do you have a healthy competition that you can have with another man or several other men that makes all of you better, that rises all of those boats? Do you have that? And lastly, do you have someone that you can call at 2:30 in the morning because you got to hurt some people and you can't tell anybody about it? And whose car we taking? Yes, that is from The Town. Greatest movie ever. Ask yourselves that question today, boys. I want you guys to really ponder on who your friends are. Are they optimizing your life? Are they improving your life? Are you becoming a better man because they're in your life? If you have a bunch of shallow acquaintances, it's not going to cut it. We as men have got to pull together as a community and show that you can have strong male friendships. That allows growth. We need those things. We yearn for those things. We have to make that happen. That's the end of my rant. I pray all of you have a wonderful day. I love all of you. God bless. Be strong. Go find and build great male friendships, boys. We'll see you.